fan of drama.
You are dramatic.
Yes. I'm a fan of Jack Bauer.
You are. Probably uncomfortably so.
Which explains why we are now being divided in 4 parts through space and time and have a clock ticking over it.
Because it's 24!
24 episodes of Rally Point was the point that I was very slowly and painfully labouring to.
Right. We have a lot to cover. We've got a lot to talk about, and we've got a lot to recap. So can we please warm up the Recapismobile? It's going.
Yeah, that was me just putting the Recapmobile in gear.
Now let's careen down Recap Street.
Okay.
Wildly.
So, just swerving to avoid Total War Battles Kingdom there, which we announced.
Dude, what is Total War Battles Kingdom?
So it's a persistent online strategy game where basically the world is persistent, so you log off, you go do stuff, you come back, and stuff has happened to your realm as you've been building it. It's
Indeed.
pretty awesome.
Based in the 10th century.
Yes.
We've got medieval knights, there's terraforming, and there's conquest.
Everything you've hoped and dreamed of and more.
Indubitably.
Total War Arena.
That is the next one.
We blew the lid straight off that with a load more information on that. People have been playing it, we've had the closed alpha, and that's been going down really well.
We are talking monstrous online battles of 10 men a side, each with their own commander, 3 units, and buckets of death!
It's wicked fun. 3 units is actually really, really fun to control, and they all have special abilities and stuff. It's good.
Really in depth.
We'll be rolling out the closed alpha to more people soon, so you'll get to get hands-on with it hopefully pretty soon. Yes, we had an event in San Francisco. We also had one at the British Museum in London.
Indeed, both of which were spectacular.
So we had press and select community come along and play all of those games that we just talked about.
And they got a load of time with Total War Attila!
Total War Attila, which is coming out very soon. In fact, February 17th.
Oh wow, that is hella soon.
Now, we've been playing Attila.
Yes, it's freaking hard.
It is very, very hard. And do you know who knows most of all about how hard it is?
That would be Simon Mann!
Simon Mann, who is the man. And he's going to be talking through, he is what I do. He's going to be talking through the 5 hardest things in Total War Attila.
Cool, my name's Simon Mann, designer on Total War Attila, and I'm going to talk to you about my 5 favourite kind of features and challenges in the game. So, first of all is sieging the unique settlements. I think it's a real challenging situation. Each of these settlements has been built to be a kind of unique scenario that the player's got to play through. So, settlements like Ravenna, for example, you've got swampland surrounding, which slows down all your units, meaning you take more damage while attacking. You've then got Rome, which is kind of the old capital of the Roman Empire, and it's kind of huge, it's large, and the walls are actually very difficult to take. They're quite sporadic and spread out. It's not a long circumference, and you've really got to use the siege escalation to take these settlements, similar to Constantinople, where the Theodosian walls make it really difficult to get in. But after escalation occurs, you've built ramps, and it actually makes it easier for you to get your siege equipment and siege towers up to the walls and into the settlement. So I suppose my second biggest challenge is going to be playing as the Western Roman Empire. It's our first legendary start pos. It's really difficult. So all the other factions, especially the barbarian tribes like the Saxons and the Picts and things like that, are all trying to take chunks out of your empire. You've got to survive and hold on until you're powerful enough to actually kind of spread back out and reintroduce yourself as one of the major factions of the game. And you've got to deal with everyone hating you, but at the same time deal with the internal politics. So at the time, kind of the empire was weak, this is a whole new leadership, and you've actually got to try and manage the different kind of parties and political factions within your own empire and balance that while trying to fight a war on all fronts. So it's kind of like internally and externally, everything is in strife, and it's a very difficult kind of game to play. My third biggest point is climate change. Now, this is nature itself almost kind of rising up against you, and you've got to deal with the snow line moving south, winter's getting colder, your armies are taking damage. So as the kind of game shifts and move forward, like your fertility is going to lower across your provinces. This lowered fertility means you've got less food, so you could have been producing lots of food from your farms, and then in a single turn suddenly it's all gone. You've got to restructure and rebuild so you don't get these famines occurring which lower army recruitment, stop growth. You know, these are really horrible things to get, and it's a real challenge to try and deal with the problem when it arises. But also, as well as that, you've got to deal with things like disease. So, you know, you're going to catch diseases, they're going to spread to different factions, to your own troops, to your characters, and you've got to kind of deal with that challenge and the fact that you're kind of ground is shifting under your feet, as it were, and there's very little you can do about it. You've just got to kind of hold on and survive. I think kind of my fourth biggest challenge is playing as a horde. So as a horde, you're really vulnerable, right? You only have 1 or 2 armies, and you have no cities or walls to hide behind. You've also got to kind of rely on other factions' lands in order to survive. So when you encamp to get your growth and build your buildings, which give you some of your finance, you know, you're making enemies of the people whose lands you've settled in. But you've also got to kind of move along with the climate change, right? So as the fertility lowers, you're going to be moving through hostile lands, and lands that will become hostile by your presence. They'll start hating you because you're there and using up all their resources. So you've got to deal with that and try and balance keeping yourself alive against kind of not making too many enemies and them finally coming down on you, because once there is a concerted effort to destroy a horde, the horde will not survive. So I think one of, if not the biggest challenge in the game is going to be Attila and the hordes, the HUNS. They're going to be coming down from Scythia, and they're going to start striking at your lands, creating a swathe of destruction, which you've really got to hold on, right? You've got to kind of handle this wave and just deal with it. You won't be able to kind of fully push them back. You've got to just keep defending, keep on the defensive, and hold out against them. But also things like, if you're the Romans, for example, like they have faction traits which will actually lower your morale when fighting them. So you really should be scared. This is the apocalypse coming for you.
So we haven't really talked much about the historical battles in Total War Attila, so we thought today we will change all that, me and James, by showing you some of the battles that are in the game. So James, there's a few historical battles in Attila, isn't there?
Yeah, we got 9, which is a bit more than was in Rome 2. It spans about 170 years of history. So you have some of the big battles of the time. Adrianople, which is first time a Byzantine Empire or Eastern Roman Empire emperor was killed in battle, killing the Goths.
Ouch.
And we've got a few others. We've got all at the very end. We've got a battle where the Justinian tries to reconquer Carthage, and but today we're going to go with the Huns versus the Western Roman Empire in Gaul.
Nice.
We're going to play on the Catalaunian Plains, and we are going to be playing on hard.
On hard?
Yeah.
What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong?
Okay, so James, quite an important battle historically, this one, right?
Very. Up until this point, the Huns had pretty much been a very big thorn on the side of the Western Roman Empire. They'd fought with the Eastern Roman Empire, and now they've got a confederation of Germanic tribes, and they're pushing into Gaul, and this is the Roman response.
So you've got the Visigoths alongside you as well, fighting by your side. It's quite an unusual setup, really, isn't it?
Surprising allies for the Romans, but at the same time, the Huns were not just a problem to the Romans, they were a problem to everyone in the region. They forced a lot of peoples to come further into the empire to seek shelter away from the Huns, because the Huns were just a different kind of enemy.
I guess it's one of those kind of key moments in history where it's like the battle lines have been drawn and, choose your allies and make a stand. And it seems to me like it was a bit of a stand from the Western Roman Empire against the huge kind of might of Attila and the threat that he posed to civilization, really.
Yeah, I mean, he was very content with just destroying, but at the same time he was trying to form his own kind of Hunnic empire. And the Visigoths probably didn't figure too big into that plan, and especially the king who's took to the field today pretty much does not like the Huns.
The Visigoth king is actually involved.
He is, and historically he died in the battle.
Well, let's hope that doesn't happen today.
And also in the battle, if I remember rightly, Attila himself was driven from the field and had to seek sanctuary in his camp. So he was driven from the battle himself.
Well, I don't think we'll feel too bad if that happens.
I'd like to kill him in this one if I get the chance, and I can see him up here.
Yeah, it looks like they're making some early starts. The Huns there, raiders kind of smashing into those Visigoth forces on the right.
Yeah, and they're smashing into infantry, not spearmen, so they're actually causing quite a lot of damage. And I almost had the same thing happen to me over here. You pull that back, I need to get my spear units engaged here. As you've seen me, I have fought this battle a few times. And every so often I'll forget to block this cavalry charge, and my infantry take a lot of damage for it. So
So they're using diamond formation there, which is quite interesting.
It's useful, but you don't really block the skirmishers quite so well, and that leads to a lot more casualties.
Yeah, I guess if you've got a lot of sides open to you, then you're going to take a lot of missile damage.
Yeah, most definitely, and you can see initially
But you've
driven off that cavalry charge, and I've still got my units here, but I'm going to have to march forward here. I've got this large cavalry contingent here. I kind of want to help my my allies.
So is that your goal with those cavalry there? You're just trying to support the Visigoths really and keep that flank from collapsing?
Yeah, I don't really want my allies to break too early, and that is something that can happen, especially under the Huns. Their cavalry is just so strong, so they do have a habit of really just moving forward. But these battles are very dynamic. So what we've had in the past is we've had battles where it's scripted, which basically means you play it a few times, you kind of get an understanding on how the AI is going to play. These are not scripted, so even though there are certain events sometimes which might be like
Like how the battle starts?
the battle starts and certain terrain features they might go for, but at the same time you also have like Adrianople, you have cavalry eventually turns up on the field, but in reality the way the AI reacts and the way the AI fights is different every time, which is really good because you can't get into those situations where you're just reading a response and playing the same battle twice. Every time I played this battle, it's played completely different.
Yeah. So, interesting question for you here. If you were playing against Attila in a multiplayer game, and you looked at his army setup here, what do you make of it? How has he done historically versus what the Total War multiplayer community would put up?
I think the Total War multiplayer community, if they were fighting with the armies they generally have, they would do quite well because we have a lot of good micro. But when the armies they took to the field, the Huns, a lot of skirmishes, and that used to frustrate a lot of these armies historically because, you know, that as much as good as their cavalry might be sometimes, they were never really able to deal with the kind of hit and run tactics of the steppe tribes, and that caused them a lot of problems. You can see right now I'm trying to catch these group of horse archers, but if I chase after them I'm just going to get in a stern chase, and it's just going to not end very well for me. So
yeah, I guess that's part of the goal as well with the skirmishes, to try and lure you away from having a solid line, to make you chase them and then end up with a situation where if they come back at you, you're not going to be quite as ready to deal with it.
Most definitely, and this fight's devolved into two big skirmishes here, and Attila himself is just sitting there. My general's getting picked out by a lot of skirmishers, and even my infantry at the centre here is buckling with a lot of the barbarian infantry that they brought to the field is causing me a lot of issues. So I'm going to take a run and try and get Attila here and drive him from the field.
I guess that's one of your best shots, isn't it? If you can knock out Attila himself, then that's going to be a massive loss for him.
A huge one, a massive morale loss for them as well. There's some elite Ostrogoth pikemen in the centre over there, which is causing me a lot of issues, so I'm not really having much luck. But my general's starting to do hammer and anvil over on this side, which is very good. Hopefully I'll be able to break a few of these and with my allies maybe even manage to get victory here. But you can see my left flank is completely shattered right now. It's falling back under the pressure, and with that I'm going to start pulling back a bit, I think. But some of my units are just skirmishers now and they've got no ammo, so they're pretty useless.
Just get them stuck in there, go on. Send them in.
It's a big messy fight, and without any of the cavalry being on the field as they're getting chased off. But you can just see here the Hunnic cavalry trying to chase down the skirmishers are just being picked off in this stern chase, and this is not really good for them. That's not the kind of encounter you really want. But over here, yeah, we finished off majority of the infantry of the Huns, but yeah, there you go. The general, the king of the Goths, has fell.
He's gone.
And that's going to be dangerous for the rest of his army. I'm going to go down here and try and deal with what's left.
So it looks like you're doing alright here, actually. I mean, the bulk of the Attila's forces that came at you seem to have actually managed to deal with.
I have, but
I've seen this go a few different ways.
the problem we have now is a lack of real cavalry and skirmish, so I can end up being just whittled away once again by just constant harassment from the range units that they have left.
So is it a valid strategy, do you think, in this kind of battle to go for the skirmishes first, maybe try and knock them out, or is it a case
well, then they just run away from me. You gotta be very careful with your cavalry. So I'm hopefully going to sort out these. But yeah, this group here is what I would really like to take out. But they've got lots of horse archers.
And you said they had some pretty good sort of barbarian spearmen.
Yes.
Ostrogoth spears, was it?
They had some Ostrogoth pikemen who were elite pikemen, and they're good. But if I can get my skirmishers involved, they generally take them apart. But yeah, it's getting them in there really.
And when your skirmishers are out of ammo, then
yeah, basically, then it ends really badly. But yeah, I'm cleaning up this infantry pile here, and
playing a bit of a numbers game there.
yeah, I mean, technically on the victory bar we're ahead, but I don't know how much I believe that. I keep messing up my formations, as people see, because I'm still trying to play it sometimes, like Rome 2, like the way you do the formations and so on. And we have a different thing now, which is I set my formation beforehand. So say I just want a big long line, I'd do that.
Yeah.
And then it will set the line. I'll just hit Group G, and then it will stay in that formation no matter what I do, which is really, really useful. Yeah, so I'm gonna see if I can use my cavalry here to chase these guys down. You can see it's the skirmishers left from their point of view. My cavalry is going to be quite effective here, and I always say the key to winning this battle is to keep your cavalry alive as much as possible. But if they stay in a long line like that, that's great for me because they can keep moving back as well. Like if they spread out, then I'm getting hit from all different sides when I'm trying to charge down one unit. So this is the best chance I've probably ever had of winning this battle. And you can just see the chaos that's been left on the field from the two armies clashing, or four armies in a way. Yeah, it was a very indecisive clash historically. These guys went to fight, but they just traded casualties. But it really did blunt the initial assault of Attila and his hordes. So, very key battle for the Western Roman Empire, and if anything, just really a setback for the Huns.
I guess that's it. I guess it's one of those battles where, you know, if you do nothing, then Attila's just going to walk all over you, so you have to do something. And if that means losing a lot of men, then it means losing a lot of men, but at least it stops that threat.
Yeah, so you can see I'm picking off one or two of these units of bow infantry, which is definitely something I need at this point. But every time I stop to engage one of these units, you can see me just getting peppered by their horse archers here, so I'm going to give up a chase on Attila and hope he comes back to the fight because it's kind of what I need right now.
Looks like Attila's going to stick out in that wood clearing there and just fire arrows at you.
Yeah, but this was the enigma that the steppe people posed to civilized armies, and something really which wasn't really addressed until a much later era of gunpowder and professional armies.
I've had to deal with sort of bow warfare.
But just nomadic cultures.
Yeah.
Nomadic cultures really just posed a massive problem, and a one which, like I said, didn't really get fixed until economics and population brought more equal playing field for.
Go on, go for it. Go for Attila. It looks like you've broken the back of this one.
It's a life or death charge.
He's not giving up. He's not going to be driven from the field. He's getting straight stuck in.
I'm not going to waste my advantage here. I'm going to try and go around the back. My general is engaged. If he falls here, it's going to be a
lot of cavalry in the woods there as well, so not a particular advantage.
Not brilliant, not at all, but there's not much you can do.
Oh, yes, he's in there somewhere.
I think he's doing quite well, but I have forgot I have an entire army over here. Here I am trying to use just my cavalry, you know.
Styling.
I'm profiling.
I've got to say, I've seen you play this battle a few times. This is the most confident picture I've seen, I think.
Yeah, this is on hard. Yeah, before anyone says, I've played a lot of Total War in my life, so. But yeah, it's a feather in my cap. If I can finally win. I mean,
yeah.
This is Attila Hun fighting over there. I think I might have it.
I have seen the downside of this battle that James was describing with the constant skirmishing. It's very, very difficult to deal with because you have to deal with that big middle threat, and you have to also deal with those skirmisher units that are always going to survive to the end of the battle.
Yeah, it looks like he's about to break as well. Oh my god, please.
Just get him. Surround him from all sides. Don't let him escape the battlefield.
I am charging him down. And historically, this was a defeat, and he was driven from the field, but I think I might have actually got a kill on him this time. Go on. Meanwhile, one unit of archers has been chased down.
That is a big scalp for the Western Roman Empire. That would be that problem solved, really.
Maybe the Western Roman Empire is never defeated in the version of history I've created.
The Huns are
I think this might even be a decisive victory now.
I don't think it will be a decisive victory. I think, if anything, it's a close victory. The Huns are defeated! Woo!
Nice.
But have I killed him?
Is he dead?
I blended Attila.
Will it blend? Yes. The answer is yes.
Attila was blended.
So there
Third
you go.
victory.
Third victory, there you
Which
go.
is historically kind of what it was.
It's a win, it's a win. A win's a win, that's what I always say.
Oh well.
So yeah, that's one of the battles in Total War Attila. The game's out on the 17th of February, so you can play them for yourself right then. And if you're interested in this battle in particular, then you'll want to check out the new book by David Gibbons, The Sword of Attila, which is actually based around this battle.
Hey all, I just want to take a quick moment to show you guys this. Bachow. It's The Art of Total War. It's a book we got coming out. It'll be available tomorrow, and links to where to purchase that are in the doobly-doo. And this is all of the amazing artwork that we've done for Total War over the last 15 years. So all of that is in there. There's some interviews with the devs, and there might even be a couple of secrets. So head to links, check it out, and see what you think.
That's it for episode 24 of Rally Point.
It is in the can. It is done. It is. But enough of the past. Let's look to the future.
Yeah, so we're going to have more information on Total War Arena coming out soon. Plenty of impressions still coming in on that. Stay tuned. Also look on our Total War Arena Facebook page. The links are in the description for more information.
The next Mod Summit, the third annual, will be happening on January the 30th.
Yes, we make a big deal of these mod summits. They're great. We get the modding community in, the hardcore guys, and we talk to them about what they want from modding in Total War. It's great. And Total War Battles Kingdom as well. We're going to have some more info on that. There's also a Facebook page for that. Check that out in the description.
Be very tuned to that. And the big noise is obviously Attila coming.
Attila, yes, and it is out on February the 17th. So we probably won't have a rally point before then.
We won't see you guys until after.
So strap in, lock in,
buckle up,
play Attila, and enjoy it. And let us know what you think.
And we'll see you guys on the flip side.
See you later.